Hi guys, so today we are going to discuss the gas leak that happened in Visakhapatnam on 7th May 2020, which led to death of about 12 people, and there were thousands others who were taken to safe places, and many other people who were shifted to hospitals because they were affected by this gas leak. So in this session, I am going to tell you as to what are the two important concepts that have evolved in India over a period of time to deal with disasters like this, and how has law been evolved over a period of time. So this is not the first time something like this was happening in India. So we know that in 1984, India suffered the world's worst industrial disaster in the name of Bhopal gas tragedy, wherein a gas called methyl isocyanate was released from a factory, killing around 18,000 people around Bhopal. And it's not just that, okay? So it's not just those people who have been killed in these disasters. It's about the long-term effects of these disasters. So these harmful gases that are released in the environment actually causes a lot of problems, not just to the present generation or the people who are affected by it at that point in time. It has long-term consequences in the sense that future generations also suffer from a lot of deformities. So you will watch a lot of documentaries on YouTube on this, and you can see a lot of articles on internet as well, where you can see that after Bhopal gas tragedy, even now there are some children who are born with certain physical deformities. किसी का हाथ नहीं होता, किसी की आंख नहीं होती, and that is the extent or that is the intensity of these disasters in India. So in this particular disaster, the Visakhapatnam gas tragedy, there was this gas called styrene gas that was released in the environment, and it affected an area of 5 kilometer or the radius of 5 kilometer from the unit. Okay, and this unit was owned by LG Polymers Limited. It's a Korean company. हम सब जानते हैं LG is a South Korean company, is an electronic giant. So it was a company that was owned by LG in Visakhapatnam. So styrene gas is considered a harmful or a hazardous substance. So there are certain laws for it. There are a lot of people who argue कि ऐसे substances हम इंडिया में लाने क्यों देते हैं या बनने क्यों देते हैं. But the thing is that these are certain substances or these are certain gas or chemicals that are actually raw materials for a lot of day-to-day things that we use. Okay, so we cannot actually ban them altogether. So there are certain rules called the Manufacture, Storage and Import of Hazardous Chemicals rules of 1989. So these rules actually tell us as to how these hazardous chemicals are to be stored in India, are to be manufactured in India. और अगर हम import कर रहे हैं या फिर कुछ भी कर रहे हैं उनके साथ, so what are the safeguards that we have to take into consideration? Okay, so these have to be followed very strictly by all the companies, because if not done, we see how hazardous or how harmful they are. So under these rules, styrene gas is considered a hazardous substance, and all the safeguards have to be taken into consideration while keeping or storing styrene gas also. Okay, so as we already discussed कि भोपाल गैस ट्रेजेडी सबसे बड़ा ट्रेजेडी था इसमें, and at that time we did not have any particular law on this. So after the Bhopal gas tragedy, there have been certain concepts that have evolved over a period of time. The first concept that we'll discuss today is the concept of strict liability. So the rule of strict liability was actually evolved in the case of Vaillant versus Fletcher. ये UK का एक case है, but in India also it was used a lot after the Bhopal gas tragedy particularly. So this rule says that if any person brings to his or her land anything that is hazardous, and for his own purpose he brings it and uses it or collects it or does whatever he wants on his particular land, and that thing escapes, वो उसके पास से निकल जाती है किसी तरह से. In this Visakhapatnam's case, it's the styrene gas. It could be anything. For example, आज मैं अगर lion पाल लूं अपने घर में and that escapes and say kills 2 or 3 people, then I will be solely liable for it. So strict liability का rule कहता है that that person will be solely liable for any harm that that thing causes. So there are basically 3 essentials to it. First one is that there is a dangerous thing that I brought on my land. Second is that it has escaped. The third one is the non-natural use of it. Okay, so there are 3 things. But the problem with the strict liability rule was that there were certain exceptions to it. Exceptions कैसे थे? For example, if something happens due to act of God, किसी flood या earthquake की वजह से हो गया, if it happens because of an accident, okay, if it happens because of the plaintiff being the wrongdoer या फिर plaintiff ने कुछ गलती की हो, then in certain cases there were exceptions to it, और जो इंसान उस particular चीज को उस land पे लाया है, he will not be held liable and there will be no remedy in law for that. ये तो बहुत ही problematic issue है because the person who is the accused here or the person who is actually the perpetrator of such a huge incident can actually claim that this was an accident और उसके साथ कुछ भी नहीं होगा. So in 1987 in MC Mehta versus Union of India, इस केस में क्या हुआ था? There was this factory in Delhi जिससे एक ओलियम गैस लीक हुआ था. ठीक है, ओलियम भी एक सेरिन की तरह गैस होता है which is harmful if released in the environment. The court stated, the Supreme Court of India stated that strict liability rule is no longer enough to sustain the needs of the present environment and the harm that such incidents cause, strict liability rule उसके लिए enough नहीं है. So they came up with another rule called absolute liability. Absolute liability का क्या मतलब होता है? Absolute liability is also strict liability minus the exceptions. तो सारे जो 3 essentials मैंने आपको बताए थे वो रहेंगे and everything is with respect to strict liability only minus the exceptions. So the perpetrator cannot take any defense in such incidents now. So what happened is, यहाँ पे problem ये थी कि when certain incidents or such incidents happened, they were dragged in court for years. ठीक है, 30 साल 35 साल तक वो cases चलते रहते थे और उसका कुछ भी नहीं होता था. So in 2010, the central government, or we can say the parliament, enacted a law called the National Green Tribunal Act 2010. इसके अंदर दे क्रिएटेड 5 नेशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्यूनल जिसको हम एनजीटीवी बोलते हैं ऑन जोनल बेसिस. ठीक है, सो देयर वर 5 zones: सेंट्रल, ईस्ट, वेस्ट, नॉर्थ, साउथ. So there were 5 NGTs that were established. NGTs were given a task to take those cases which actually led to environment protection और जो basically इसी चीज से related थे, environment conservation and so on, and dispose them off very quickly ताकि इसका फटाफट रिजल्ट आ सके. So in this particular case, NGT imposed a fine of 50 crore rupees on the LG Polymers company. However, that fine is inadequate is what I feel, because जो उससे losses होंगे और जो आगे जाके उसके harmful effects होंगे, that will be a lot more than that. And other than that, there is a 5-member high-powered committee established by the NGT headed by Neerav Kumar Prasad. Okay, so this is being done and the committee has been established to see as to what were the lapses on the part of LG Polymers and what were the causes of this gas leak. Now the problem is that the data of National Disaster Management Authority states that there have been more than 150 such incidents after the Bhopal gas tragedy. And the problem is that we do not take it seriously. The government does not take it seriously, although there are certain safeguards for it. There were certain acts that were passed, and I've mentioned all those acts at the end of this lecture. You can go and have a look on those acts. But the implementation of this act is only on paper. Okay. There have been a lot of newspaper reports also. As you can see in the description, you can find those links which says that most of the people who actually were entitled to compensation in the Bhopal gas tragedy also did not receive their compensation. So we hope and I request the government to please provide the requisite compensation to the affected people who had no hand in it and were affected for no reason. So let's hope that something good happens out of it and India makes its laws stricter in these disasters, in these industrial disasters. So that's it about the session from my side. If you have any doubts, mention in the comment box. I'll be more than happy to answer. Send in all your topics that you see are important for this year's CLAT. I'll be more than happy to make more and more videos before this year's CLAT only. Thank you so much. If you like our channel, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any updates from us. All the best.